Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the second season of Tell Me Dad. In this season, we will be asking my dad all questions that we have about life. These can be questions about career, personal development, or relationships, or whatever we can think of. So if you're interested in what my dad has to share this time, then stay tuned. Hello, Dad.
Hi, son. How are you? Long time no
I'm,
see,
yeah,
huh?
right. I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
Good, good, good. Surviving. Let's put it that way.
Surviving. Yeah, well,
Your mom keeps me busy.
as always, as always.
As
But
always.
tonight you're going for a nice dinner. That's good.
Yeah, tonight I'm going for a nice dinner with an old friend of mine. He is living in Düsseldorf, and we go to a Thai restaurant. And he and his wife, it's great company, you know. She's Chinese, as you know,
Yeah,
and he is just great company, you know. A very smart person. And at the time, he helped me to sell my company, the last company I had, not the startup I did, the other one. And he is pretty good in that, you know. He when
yeah,
people approach him, what he does is the first thing he does is he takes the pressure off, you know, and he has um, a certain procedure that you have to follow, and that is pretty cool, you know. I mean, at the time it helped me a lot to understand the whole process, and at the end to be successful. It took him about 7 8 months to
yeah,
sell the company, and I mean it's not that cheap even with friends, you know. I mean
yeah,
but I mean, as long as he is successful, that's pretty good, you know. So,
yeah,
I mean, once in a while he calls me and he offers me a company, and well, the answer is always the same, you know. Please, no,
yeah.
I have enough, you know. But I connect you to my son.
Yeah, well, at some point, I
Yeah,
might be ready. So yeah,
yeah. Well,
sure, why not?
okay. But otherwise, you know him. Martin is a great guy,
Yeah, he's a great
and
guy.
it's always fun, you know, to talk to him.
Definitely, definitely. Yeah, always good to hear from his experience as well.
Yeah,
For me.
absolutely, absolutely. I mean, it is a great job that he has. You know, merger and acquisitions.
Yeah,
Each project is different. You know, I mean, he has companies that he needs to sell that are just, I mean, the good old fashioned family business,
yeah,
and uh, other projects that he has. It's like bigger companies with a couple of hundred people, very sophisticated stuff where the companies just don't have someone to follow up. You know, it's just well, sometimes people are desperate. They actually missed the right point to build up a successor.
yeah,
So well, but and then people realize that the money they will get for their company is not what they have in mind,
yeah,
and well, it's always difficult.
yeah.
All right,
True.
so tell me,
Yeah. Well,
son.
different topic for this episode. Um, I kind of told you that this episode will come. So, well, today's the day. My question that I
Uh-oh.
have for you is, how did you know that mom was the right one for you?
Oops.
Yeah.
um,
You've been
well,
married for more than 20 years, so, well,
yeah.
I guess you did something right.
Well, let me. And she did probably also something
Yeah, of course, of
right.
course.
Well, let me take a deep breath first.
Yeah,
This is a question I was not really prepared. You know.
there you go.
So, well, um, it was when I saw your mom, the first time. It was actually way before we got married, and then in between there was a period that we didn't see each other anymore, and she got married actually.
Yeah,
Um, not to me, unfortunately. But uh, well, as you know, I was married before to a person that was very dominant and it well, I mean, the longer we were married, the more difficult it got. You know, she was always, or she always wanted to be in the driver's seat, and it got
Yeah.
so bad that one day I just cut the line, and it was good for me, but it also was good for her.
Yeah.
Uh, because if we would have gone on with that marriage, either we would have killed each other, or I mean, I don't know. It was just, I mean, this stress, this fighting every day, it was just a situation that we well, it was not good for both of us. So I cut the line. I moved out. From a financial point of view, um, she made a great deal. She got
Yeah.
the house, a big chunk of money, and a big car, and whatever, you know. So um, uh, and then I had this apartment at my mom's house that I complete refurbished, and it was, I mean, it was a real nice apartment, a little penthouse, and um, in regards to where to live and how to live, I was quite in a very comfortable situation. Um, but I mean, alone is alone.
Yeah.
There is no one there in the evening that's waiting for you or that you can talk to, and you keep it all inside. And I mean, long term, it's not really that good. But on the other hand, this fear to get into a relationship that could end up like the one I had before. It was a real fear. So anyway, um, this one day, uh, I mean, your mom was uh, my secretary at that time.
Yeah.
I hired her as my secretary.
What made you hire her?
Um, yeah.
What made you hire her?
Uh, wow.
Apart from looks.
Well, but this of course was a uh, uh, well, it was a big part.
Yeah.
She is pretty, and she is pretty. She was pretty, and what I liked at that time was, first of all, uh, she was a professional. I
Yeah.
mean, you could give her like 10 words, and she created a complete letter. That was good because I was in that regard kind of lazy. You know, I didn't want to explain everything and repeat it again, and so she was very good at that because she was working in Düsseldorf for a consultant, and before that she was working as a secretary for Mitsubishi,
Yeah.
for the board at Mitsubishi in Düsseldorf. And so, I mean, she was absolutely professional. That was very important. She met that qualification that I needed. And what I appreciated very much was that um, that she could listen. That she could listen. You know, she was not that type of person that when you say 3 words, you just don't get to the word number four
Yeah.
because there is already, well, I think we should do
Yeah.
that different, you know. No, no, she could listen, and she answered always when I was finished, and that was a great experience, I must say.
Yeah.
And when she answered, it it was either okay, yes, I will do it, or a may I suggest some changes? Yeah, and then the changes always made me think because there was a lot of good stuff. And because we men think very practical
Yeah.
and realistic and pragmatic, and the woman always consider also the emotional part. How does
Yeah.
the guy feel when he reads that letter? I
Yeah.
mean, first of all, well, he probably never is going to give you a purchase order, because this letter is very arrogant and you
Yeah.
should not do that. Or would he say, well, nice person, and the way he writes to me, it's just great. I'm just going to call that guy. So she was actually the kind of person that created this letter number two. And then when I started the company, she took over the complete administrative and commercial part of the company, the financial part of the company. And believe me, with a startup, it's not that easy uh, as you think. With a startup, you have to create an organization.
Yeah.
And in Germany, it's not like, okay, I start a company and that's it, and we go. In Germany, is you have to discuss a, a, a lot of issues with local government, with the city, with the landlords, with the whatever. It's just, I mean, a lot of hassle that she kept from my back, and I really appreciate it. And I still remember that one evening I just had to finish that quotation, and it was so important, a big piece of machinery, and it was already like 6 o'clock, and she was typing and I was dictating, and we went on, and then I said, "Oh gosh, I mean, you probably have to go get home." And she said, "Don't worry. I mean, we're going to finish that now. It's more important." Oops,
Yeah.
that was good. That was well, I never thought that an employee would ever say that. Um, all the guys in the workshop, that fell in love with a special fixture and trying to figure out how that works, then they forget all the time.
Yeah.
But anyway, so at about 8:30, um, after proofreading quote and checking the calculation again, we finished that quotation and we sent it out to this customer. And we both were totally done. We were just, I mean, uh,
Yeah.
so I said, "Well, you're probably hungry." And she said, "Yes."
Yeah.
And I said, "Well, I'm hungry too." And is someone waiting for you at home? She said, "No." I mean, she gave me all the right answers.
Yeah. Perfect
that,
answers. Yeah.
that was just great. And I said, "Do you mind if I invite you to have dinner with me? We go to a nice Italian place and we can chat a little bit. And here in the company, it's always so busy. We don't really get to chatting around a little bit." And she said, "Hey, that's a great idea. I mean, I'm starving, and Italian sounds great. So why don't we take off?" And we went to a small city north of Lyon. I knew there was a real nice Italian place. Had kind of a romantic touch.
Yeah.
And I mean, at the end of the day, she told me her life story. I told her my life story. And at about 1 o'clock, the owner of the place, he kicked us out. He said, "Come on, guys, you got to go now. You're the last one here."
Yeah.
So, but it was great. And when we left the place and we said goodbye, I got a big hug. And so it was. I went home, and I couldn't get her out of my head. So yeah, well, it's just this. I don't know, was it that falling in love or meeting the person that you always wish to meet? Yeah. So um, I went
When you
home. Yeah.
invited her that evening, was your intention romantic already, or was it just, yeah, she's a nice person, let's have dinner and that's it?
No, it was not. It was not as maybe by with the 90% of the men, it would have been a different intention. But I mean, for me, it was just. I mean, hey, we both deserve a nice dinner. We did a great
Yeah,
job, and we both deserve a nice dinner. And uh, she made it kind of easy on me because
yeah,
if she would have said, "No, I want to go home," and no, I don't like Italian. You know, these answers that I hate.
yeah,
Um, uh, that she made it so easy and nice and pleasant, and we had this great evening. And the next morning we started our work again, and from that day on, kind of a regular basis, we met on a private basis. We went to have dinner, or we we went to Cologne, spent nice evening in Cologne, or I mean this usual get to know each other. And one day I invited her to meet my mom,
yeah,
and my mom, you know, when you introduce someone to my mom, you know, you just look at her,
yeah,
and you know, within like 10 seconds, she likes her or she doesn't like her.
yeah,
Even though if she doesn't like her, she wouldn't really. I mean, you have to know her to kind of
yeah,
see what she is thinking. But um, uh, she was just sold from the first minute. And we spent the whole evening at my mom's house, and it was so pleasant because it felt like family.
yeah,
And that was a feeling that I didn't have for years. And so I mean, from then on, again, we met on a regular basis, and we got closer. And she managed the company very well, the complete administrative part, the financial part, and that was a big help. And she actually managed it in a way that I would have done it.
yeah,
That doesn't mean that I'm always right, you know. But what if there was an open subject, she just came to my office and she said, "Well, we got to talk about this. How would you do that?" So she was looking for this dialogue, and um, there was something that I was hoping to find, but again hoping, and now it happened.
yeah,
And it was a beautiful time. We had on that basis we had like 2 great years, because at that time I also did my first open house in the company, and I invited a hell of a lot of people, good customer, big customers.
yeah,
I mean, big companies like Siemens and I mean BASF. You know, I mean the big players when it comes to requiring maintenance and or machines to do maintenance. And they were all sold on her. You know, she was
yeah,
so charming, and yeah, well, I mean, you know her. She was so charming, and she was so nice, and it was just great. And even later on, when we did that joint venture, which was a big change in my life, your mom was kind of um, managing this emotional part. She was actually watching that it didn't get too loud, that uh, we men, tough businessmen, that we behaved.
Yeah.
So, and well, I still remember I asked her to make a reservation at the restaurant nearby, and they also had a Kegel alley, which I
Yeah.
mean bowling, but
Similar
without
to
these
bowling.
holes in the
Yeah.
balls.
Yeah.
So, and she said, "Well, I made a reservation, but I also reserved this bowling alley for us. You never
Yeah.
know. Maybe it's fun. Maybe they like it." And I said, "Wow, it's quite a crazy idea because Americans are like bowling, and honey, I don't think that
Yeah.
they like this Kegel idea." And she said, "Well, just wait." So we went to this place. We had great food. It was just fantastic food. And then we went to this room where they had this bowling alley,
Yeah.
Kegel alley. And I explained to these guys a few of the games that can be played, and I mean, there are simple ones, and it gets more complicated.
Yeah.
Your mom was actually monitoring the whole situation, and she was watching that everything went according to her plan, probably.
Yeah.
So it was a great evening, and it was just fantastic. And the next morning, the chairman of the board of the company that owned, actually the company we did a joint venture with, the
Yeah.
chairman of the board, he came into my office and he said, "Well, um, I came here to buy your company. And yesterday my offer was I want to buy minimum 51%. And you said, no, I don't do that. I never sell majority. And last night was just such a great night. And you guys are good people, down earth, and that honest. And I do something now that I've never done in my life before. And I have bought a lot of companies and I did a lot of joint ventures. I offer you a 50-50 joint venture."
Yeah.
And we did a handshake, and this joint venture lasted a lot of years.
Yeah.
And we became extremely successful. And as you know, after a couple of years, we did about $12 million in revenue with like 10, 12 people. $12 million in revenue was a big profit. So it was a win-win situation, definitely.
Yeah.
And I would say your mom, even though she always stayed in the back, but she was a big part of that. So, but that was the business, her influence on the business side.
Yeah.
But there is
Exactly.
also another side of the coin.
Yeah. So
Um,
what was the influence on you?
yeah, the private side,
Yeah.
and the influence on me. So. Um, uh, I still had this apartment in Düren,
Yeah.
and she had an apartment here in Wakeback. She
Yeah.
was living at her mom's house, but she had a separate apartment there. And what we did at that time, on the weekend, we stayed here in Wakeback. And during the week, because the company was in Düren,
Yeah.
we stayed in Düren. And I had this beautiful apartment in Düren. So it was kind of convenient. The apartment was only 5 minutes by car from the company. So we enjoyed really, uh, I mean, on that basis, living on the weekend here and during the week there. It was just a great time because this apartment I had a little balcony, and we had a small table, two chairs, and a small barbecue grill, and so it was so romantic, so nice. And after 2 years, then when I was actually traveling for the company to Brazil, and I came back and I bought a bracelet
Hmm.
from the brand Stern. Stern is the largest, or one of the largest jewelers in the world, based in Brazil. And whatever he makes is just beautiful. And he uses a lot of Brazilian gemstones. So I bought this bracelet, and one evening when we were just sitting there and we were watching television, I got all that guts, and I thought, well, you gotta ask her this question now. And I said, well, honey, I got a question. It's probably gonna change our life. And she said, oh, what happened? You're gonna sell the company? Or I said, no, no. I said, you want to marry me? And she said immediately, she said, yes.
Yeah.
Yes. No, I mean, her response, whatever I ask her, I mean, the whole life, whatever I ask her, she always said yes. And so we actually planned on getting married, building a house. But before, we were, of course, planning on getting a child. So uh, we were we got married in December, and you were born December the following year.
Yeah.
So when I always like to tell this, because a lot
People
of
start
people
calculating. Yeah.
think, yeah, but when you tell this to people, you can actually see in their eyes that they start calculating.
Yeah.
And there was nothing about calculating. It was just
Yeah.
very realistic decisions. We wanted to have a child. And the plan was, since the company was on safe ground, I was making pretty good money. And the plan was um, to have a child. And after that, build, uh, build the house. I mean, getting married, get a child, and after that, build a house. And well, the sad story about getting a child was, I told that in one of our podcasts before,
Yeah.
was the situation that she had to go through, that things didn't get the way it was supposed to be. But I mean, you turned out to be a great little boy, and it compensated for all the pain we had to go through. And so after this, we decided to build this house here. And she, well, I asked her to quit her work uh, in our company, but prior to that, she had to train another person
Yeah.
to take over. What she did took about 6 8 months, and the new person was pretty good at that work, but nothing to compare with your mom. So
Yeah.
it's well, it was just so different. And so she stayed at home with you. I mean, during her pregnancy, she was still working. So um, after you were born, she stayed at the house. She took care um, about everything related to the house, to private business, to you. And because it's not that easy, it's not that, well, we have a child and we put it in a corner and just we wait until it grows
Yeah.
up. So it it's not gonna work like that. So I am kind of old-fashioned, you know. I like when well, a lot of our of the people that are listening to our podcast are probably not going to like this, but I am kind of old-fashioned, and I like men working,
Yeah.
and when you get home, your wife is waiting,
Yeah.
and she has a drink in her hand for you,
Yeah.
and dinner is waiting. It was just a dream, you know. That was the family life that I have been always dreaming of. So and then, of course, during the business life that I was going through, a lot of traveling, and a lot of coming home late at night. She always kept my back free from any problems. And that is also very important, that you have a
Yeah.
partner that is not gonna yagging all night, you know, telling you how difficult life is. And no, she kept that all away from me. She never complained. She I mean, what we had was every night we had a great time with you. You know, I mean,
Yeah.
you were kind of a very special child, you know. But probably every dad is going to say that about
Probably, yeah.
his son. But I mean, in my opinion, you were really, really special, and you were actually always looking forward uh, for me coming home,
Yeah.
and that, I think, uh, built up a very special relationship between you and me. And your mom always says, and that's something that bothers her a little bit. She says, "Well, the
Yeah.
first word that Paul said was Papa,"
Yeah.
and that's great.
Yeah.
Well, the second word was Aldi,
Yeah.
because every supermarket he called Aldi.
Yeah.
That was funny.
Yeah.
That was funny. Oh, little Paul. Yeah. Well, so um, what made me what made me to be kind of fascinated about your mom? Just her personality, besides her looks and the way she was, the way she appeared, the way she could handle situations, the way she could take the pressure off. So it was always, whenever I took her along to a dinner with a customer or traveling to the United States, um, and I took you and her to that joint venture partner, and you spent a day in the company, and everybody was taking care of you, and
Yeah.
all. But it was always positive, you know. I never had the feeling that uh, well, you know, it's kind of a burden, you know. No, not at all. It was always great. And whenever I was on the road or traveling, it was kind of difficult to live without you two guys. Okay, you could do phone calls and chat for an hour, but um, it was not the same.
Yeah.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
I mean, again, your mom did a great job in. Well, I'm probably also not that easy of a person, because people that start companies and they are not that easy, you know. So they have to make decisions. They have to do a lot of thinking. They have to work out solutions so nothing happens to the company and to the family, so it's people that always stand under pressure to some extent are not that easy. And in my particular case, your mom was just great at handling that. Well, just
Yeah.
great. I mean, for me, she was. she was the best thing that ever happened in my life. I must say that.
Yeah. And what made it last 20 years now?
Well, I never ever in my life had even the slightest feeling for leaving your mom. Never,
Yeah.
never, never, ever.
Yeah.
And when I think about my marriage before, the
Yeah.
10 years before I got divorced, 10 years was the first time I went to a lawyer
Yeah.
and I asked him, "What do I have to do to get divorced?" And he said, "Well, you have to look for a place to sleep because you're gonna go broke on
Yeah.
that. You're gonna lose everything." But you see, at that time, I should have pulled the trigger, um, because living 10 years under this pressure, it's not good. It's
Yeah.
not good for both parties. And at the end of the day, I paid the same price.
Yeah.
Yeah, I paid the same price. So, but things happen the way they are supposed to happen. If I would have left her 10 years earlier, I probably would not have met John.
There you go.
And yeah, well, that's I always think that way. Things
Yeah.
happen the way they're supposed to happen, and whatever happened in relation to your mom is well, it was just meant to be.
Yeah.
And the last 2 years, I must say, uh, I really got the feeling that she is the best person I ever met in my life, because my cancer that I got 2 years ago, almost two years ago. It turned out to be not cured, but the doctors have it under control. Let's
Yeah.
let's put it that way. The
Yeah.
doctors have it under control very well, even. And your mom stayed at my side every single day.
Yeah.
She was not crying all day long. She was not blaming anyone. She was just. The only thing I heard was, "Hey, you are a fighter. We're gonna go through that together, and we're gonna make it." And you see, this positive attitude, in my opinion, was a big part of uh, that. It turned out the way it is today, because this positive input, it gives you a lot of energy. And
Yeah.
she didn't even accept any negative statements from my side, not at all. And she didn't even accept any negative statements from the doctors.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
still remember twice when she told the doctor, "Okay, that might be your opinion, but I get a second opinion."
Yeah.
So it was kind of embarrassing for me, but she was right,
Yeah.
because in both cases the second opinion had a different result.
Yeah.
And and so she is quite a special person that
Yeah.
I hope will be spending a lot of additional years with.
Yeah.
And what I do now is, and that is something that I think we both deserve, um, instead of just working on the house and working here and or working for friends or for family or for this,
Yeah.
what I have done in the past, regardless who called, Willie was always there, and whether it was wallpapering a room or a door that was broken, or a window, or a washing machine or dryer, or Willie was always there. No, I don't do that anymore. When people call now, I say, well, just take Yellow Pages or go into the internet. You'll find people that can do that much better than me.
Yeah.
Yeah, much better than me. And then people say, well, yeah, but it's so expensive. And I say, well, you see, wrong answer.
Yeah.
You know, this good work has to be paid well.
Yeah.
And so what we do now is we spend a bit more time on us.
Yeah.
Uh, for next year, we have on our to-do list that, I mean, now this year we're gonna see you in Dublin,
Yeah.
and we're gonna stay for 4 days, 4 weeks. Oh God, that would drive me
Yeah.
no 4 days. And uh, next year, in spring, we probably gonna do another Madeira trip, and then in summer we're gonna do a trip, maybe Bangkok, or well, she
Nice.
was actually talking about Mexico because one of her friends is living in Mexico now for like 11, 12 years, and she
Yeah.
is so happy there, and it's such a beautiful. Well, she's living in Cancun. Cancun is a nice, rather safe place
Yeah.
in Mexico, and of course she enjoys life there. But after all, I Cancun, it's tourism, a lot of tourism. It's nothing really special, you know. The hotels that you see there, the same hotels you can see in Tenerife or Mallorca, or so. I'm not that hip about the Mexico idea, and I'm quite sure that your mom is gonna step back from that because she also has fear of flying. And I
Yeah.
told her already that it's like 14 hours flight. And
It's a long flight. Yeah.
when
Yeah.
she heard that, she said, "Well, I might reconsider this
Yeah.
idea." So, but I don't know yet. Maybe we go for a week to Rio de Janeiro.
Yeah.
You know, go there and I can show her a lot of places that I've been around Rio, and we could spend a week or two there during the
Yeah.
carnival season. You know, it would be just great. So we're gonna spend a little bit more time on us, and I think we're gonna enjoy life a little bit more. And
Nice.
you
I,
have to work so I get my pension. You
I'm
know.
still young. Yeah.
All right. Yeah, son.
Yeah.
Did
Thank you very
did
much, Dad.
did I answer your questions fairly well, or
Yeah.
did you
Well, you did.
expect more? And
No.
I mean, it was kind of a love story.
Yeah.
Nothing really super exciting, you know, like separating, getting together again, and
No.
then
No.
one is moving here and the other one there, and
But I'm
so
not a
I
big
mean,
fan of drama, so it's okay.
yeah, right. I don't like that either, you know.
Yeah.
So um, it was just the last 20 years, 22 years were just great. And your mom is the most valuable person that you and I have. And I hope that it's going to stay for a long time. And I
There we
hope
go.
that you had fun with this podcast.
Oh
And I
yeah,
hope
I
that
did.
also our the people that are listening to us, that they also have fun. I mean, not everybody is interested in Willy's life, but if I can make one or the other person smile, then I have reached my goal already.
Oh yeah, I
So
mean you do. I had one colleague coming into the company a few days ago, and he was walking by my desk. I was already there, and he showed me his mobile phone. He had headphones in, and he said, "Yeah, look what I'm listening to." And he showed me the screen of his phone, and I could see it was our podcast. So yeah,
that is great.
yeah,
That is great. I think it's really great.
yeah.
Super. Well, I got a an email a few days ago from the United States. And well, it looks like we have a lot of fans in the United States.
Yeah, we do.
So an old friend of mine, and he said, "Well, I'm looking forward to listen to your next podcast."
There we go.
So it's well, I don't know why. I mean, maybe they're interested in what I'm doing, or they like to hear my voice again.
Yeah,
You never know.
yeah.
So, but it's a lot of fun, and I appreciate that you take the time. And I think for today we did a good job.
Definitely.
And Take care. Have a good dinner tonight.
Yeah,
And
you as well, because you're gonna go
I'm
out.
gonna have
Yeah,
one in Düsseldorf
there you go.
at
Yeah,
Light Tide. Beautiful place.
yeah,
Okay, son. Take care. All the
you
best,
as well.
and talk to you probably next week.
See you next week.
Okay. Take care. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye. Thank you everyone for listening to this episode. If you're interested in what my dad has to share next time, then make sure to tune in again next week. And if you have any questions that you want my dad to answer, then please feel free to send them to us. Hope to see you next week. Bye bye.